Sounds great.
Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us today for our exclusive webinar with Fanvil. My name is Rebecca Johnson. I am the brand marketing specialist here at VoIP Supply. I'm here today with Tommy Lee from Fanvil. You are also going to see Donald Stephanie from VoIP Supply. He usually heads up these webinars here with us, but I'm taking over today. Feel free to take down his information though as well. If you do have any questions for any of us here at VoIP Supply, Don can help you out with that. What we're going to be doing today is reviewing the two new phones, the V66 Pro and the V62 Pro. So we're going to go through, Tommy's going to take you through a little bit of an intro on Fanvil. I'll take you through a little bit of an intro on VoIP Supply, run through these phones, some of the highlights that we've got here for you, and the promotions, and we'll do some Q&A. If you do have any questions, we have a Q&A button you can click. Put stuff in the chat for us. You can send us a private chat as well, and we'll run through those at the end. Or if we can throw it in during the presentation, we would be happy to do so. All right, so we also want to let you know we've got 2 giveaways for you today. So if you have registered for this, obviously you have, since everyone's in here right now, I can see that. And then yeah, if you stay through the whole thing, 2 people are going to win. One will get a V66 Pro, the other will get a V62 Pro. We are going to randomly choose those winners after the webinar, and we will send the winners an email. So keep an eye out from us here at VoIP Supply for that. So thank you very much for joining us today. Okay, perfect. So just a little bit about VoIP Supply. We have been around for quite a while. So we are a leading value-added distributor in the open source VoIP market space. We have a very highly tenured team, complete product and service catalog, anywhere from headsets to gateways, SIP connectivity, you name it. Quite a catalog on our website. We have a live chat to get in touch with us. We just want to make sure that we are always available for everybody. So feel free to go to our website, send us a chat, or call us, or send us a message. We are happy to talk with you and connect you with any of our VoIP experts. Okay, next slide for me, Tommy. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so our partner program, we're a distributor for many brands. So you get partner pricing, we provide marketing materials, we get everything that you need to sell. So anything that you could think of that might help you sell better, we've got you. You're going to have a dedicated sales rep assigned to your account. Make sure you have the best possible experience with us. We have 7 sales representatives here in our office who've been here for quite a while. So, other than that, when it comes to logistics, really everything can be shipped pretty much the same day. We would say 99.9% of everything can be shipped. So even if it's a couple thousand phones, we are on it. And we're located here in Buffalo, and our warehouse is connected to our office space, and we've got everything you need. So, all right, next slide, please. Thank you. So, VoIP fulfillment. When you're a fulfillment customer, you really get priority with VoIP Supply, with customer service, RMAs, API access, really all this to just make it a very seamless ordering process. So we've got that, and we've got our provisioning program. Even our provisioned orders can ship the same day. Any private label devices, anything like that, we can ship directly to your customers. So as part of our fulfillment and our provisioning programs, VoIP Supply really prides ourselves in our capabilities there.
Great.
And that's
I
about it.
guess
I'll
what I'll
pass
do
it off
is,
to you.
yeah, I'll kick it off here. Thank you very much for the intro,
Sure.
Rebecca.
Yeah.
For those who aren't interested in Fanvil, I just want to spend a slide or two just to kind of give us a quick overview. For those who already know who we are, just be patient, and I'll just get right into the meat and potatoes very shortly. Fanvil, you may see our brand name, which is our head name. You may also see another brand that's a sub brand as well, which is Linkville. And Linkville really is a brand that we're doing to sort of address a lot of the hybridized products, which means that it can couple wireless technology and a lot of things that don't necessarily fall into a straight SIP category. But for the purpose of this presentation, we're just going to go ahead and concentrate on these two new models, which we think will provide a lot of differentiation that you can think about. We own several factories in China as well as outside of China, in Vietnam, and in special cases when you have government contracts where you have specific requirements, we can meet those requirements on a case-by-case basis. So if you have any of those things, please feel free to reach out to Rebecca, myself, or Don. I'll be more than happy to review that, and we could always work those manufacturing out on a case-by-case basis. From an investment standpoint, many people who haven't heard of Fanvil, we've been around for 22 years. And obviously, we're very much an engineering-driven company. They also have salespeople throughout the world. I myself is based here in the United States, and I handle both, mainly all the channel differences in North America. But a lot of where we differentiate is we also have local time staff as well. So if you actually want to check out a technology, we actually have technical staff that can work with you real time on a case-by-case basis. Obviously, in terms of revenue, we've made a lot of investments to improve the quality. Looking over to the right, we've actually spent over $1 million just to go ahead to make sure that we have an acoustic laboratory, because when people spend the endpoint, you want to make sure that you hear the performance as best as possible. When you look through it, our entire portfolio of solutions go well beyond phones. We have phones here that really specify in business. We even have senior living phones, hospitality, wireless, even security products such as intercom, broadcasting without video, speakers, access control, and a little bit of the Linkville I was talking about, where you're talking about some of the wireless technologies that are hybridized products that is sort of an offshoot, but is also a branch that we're going to concentrate on well. And beyond all of the different SIP type products that we also have management servers as well, both device management as well as cloud management devices, because for those who want to work with our access control, we actually have a locally based server that you can see and allow access to any different person who wants to enter your restaurant, your building, your offices, or even your home for that matter. So all of these things are coupled under one roof, and that's kind of how Fanvil differentiates itself from a lot of competition. I mentioned earlier about tech support. Local tech support is headed by a gentleman by the name of Hector Zarita. Feel free to go ahead and get a copy of this. I'll be more than happy to, Rebecca will be more than happy to share a PDF version of this so that you have this contact information. I could do a lot of the commercial support as well. So if you have questions regarding high-level products, I can go ahead and take care of it. But if you really got to dig deep and do SIP traces and all that, Hector's the guy you want to reach out to. So with that stated, let me kind of get into some of the formats here in the V62 Pro. This is one of the two. Now here is where we differentiate. It is not brand new technology that vendors like us offer a wireless handset, which we get rid of that cord here. But the really good news is that all of the people that we work or basically compete against us offer this wireless technology on a very high-end phone. And that we realize that from a low-end perspective, we say, why don't we go ahead and differentiate ourselves? And that's what we did with the V62 Pro. The V62 Pro has almost everything that you would have in a mid-level to low-level phone. But what we've done to really differentiate ourselves is to add that wireless handset. This wireless handset has become a really convenient feature because it's based on Bluetooth, and the only way you can pair it is just mount it right onto the actual desktop so that the pairing is done automatically, which is really, really great. If you want, you could also have an accessory and say, look, if you want a wired phone, you could also buy a wired handset as an accessory and just use a wired handset. But if you want to buy the Pro, you can go ahead and buy the Pro, or you can buy just the wired handset. The net effect is up to you, but I thought instead of just having that minor differentiation, I just wanted to point that out. The V62 Pro is also desk and wall mountable, so that it really broadens the effect of all of these things. What can it do from a performance standpoint? Yes, it supports high-end audio with G722 and Opus to give you that flexible codec charges as well. It has Bluetooth as well as up to Gigi interface. So it's got color screen, Gigi, as well as 13-hour support time in the wireless handset. And if you're not using a handset, you just mount it right back on the mount, and all of a sudden it'll just recharge all on its own. So really, if you think about it, this baseline handset really contains all of the frill features as the bigger handset, probably with the exception of a screen size. But if you need a larger screen, you may want to do that. Why would you want to do that? Is because on the larger screen, we sell a lot of security programs that provide video, and that larger V66 Pro will provide you that. And having said that, why don't I just move on to the next phone? You would want to go this if you want a larger screen, and this is more of a touch screen that gives you tilt display capabilities. But the reason why you'd want to go here from a technical perspective is that this screen is also H.264 compatible, which means you can go ahead, take a look at this handset, see who's at the door. If it's Pizza Hut or Domino's Pizza at the door, you could just push on a function key and allow that person to come right in. Not only is the key available on the actual display, but there's also function keys on the actual handset. And the good news about this is that Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, all of these different technologies beyond just having the wireless handset, you could really put this phone wherever you want to go, and it provides as well desk and wall mountable features. If you want to mount it on a wall, there is an accessory device that we also have we put on there. If it becomes a public device, another interesting piece is that we put antibacterial materials to really resist against the spread of germs and all that. So for people who tend to be anal like myself, it'll be a great feature to provide public and resist, spreading of germs outside. As I talked about, the handset itself, it really does take away that corded phone so that you just easy mount, and it also has a programmable key as well as an answer, hang up, as well as a call pickup key. So you could put this in your back pocket, carry it with you on your bag or your purse or what have you. Gives you more than enough talk and standby time, but then yet if you wanted to answer the door, you could just pick up the handset, push a programmable key, and it will automatically be as though you were right there at the desk, giving you a little bit of flexibility without missing any calls.
Tommy,
Again,
we got a quick question on that.
Sure, no problem.
Can the Bluetooth handset be purchased separately and used on another model of phone that has Bluetooth?
No. The only the distinction of the two models is the V62 Pro and the V66 Pro. So all of the other models that we have in between, we have a V64, a V65, as well as we also have a V66 and a normal V62. We have basically corded versions as well as a cordless version, but you do get the flexibility. If you buy the cordless version, you can buy a wired handset to sort of supplement it if that's something you want to look for. Okay, but everything in between, the 64 and the 65, are not going to be, those don't have a Bluetooth compatibility because they don't have the specific contacts to charge the handset.
Thank you.
And in terms of auto pairing, as I mentioned here, you could just kind of pick it up, mount it on the actual device, and that will automatically pair. So from a desk person standpoint, you don't have to worry about it. As soon as you plug it in and it's PoE, you could just pop the handset on, it'll automatically pair it. The great news about this is that, because it's wireless, you tend to lose it. So there's an actual find key where you can actually program one of the keys and the actual handset will beep. So you can go ahead and find where that additional handset is, which is a nice feature. I use that all the time on my mobile phone because I tend to miss out on those things. And everything is really supported under a 2-year warranty as well. Multiple modes for enhanced security, as I talked about earlier. On the V66 Pro, you also have the ability to go ahead and answer people, and you can actually see who's actually at the front door, and you can see, use video monitoring, which is a real differentiator between the 66 and the 62. But if you have a lot of tactical interface and just being able to watch the program and video is not an option, the V62 Pro happens to be a really good option for you that provides most flexibility and everything else. Special promotions. We're working along with VoIP Supply to really provide an NFR bundle. So you can buy the high end as well as the low end as a bundle, because a lot of people like to sort of show an executive version and a baseline version, both with the Bluetooth headset And we also have other versions as well, but at least for this case, you could bundle both of these. Normally MSRP is like in the low 400s, so you can actually buy this at the US price of $179. So it's a really good program if you want to minimize your risk, collect these two, test it out in your lab to see if it really meets your needs or not. And so reach out to VoIP Supply and they'll be more than happy to support you with that. Secondly, with the V66 Pro, we have a seeding program. And this is something that we work very closely with VoIP Supply to really provide them a real basic seeding so that it allows for people to kind of say, hey, let me go and try this out. So we're going to give you a good break on one of the first projects you might have. So you can buy 5 and get 5 free from promotion A, or you could buy 10 and get 10 free. Literally, that's like almost 50% off on it if you want to go ahead and deploy these things moving forward. And this promotion is based on stock that's limited on hand. So they bought a certain amount to be able to seed the marketplace. And once that's gone, it'll go back to normal reseller pricing moving forward. So contact everybody, contact VoIP Supply. They'll be able to give you further and further details about these two phones. With that stated, I'll go ahead and devote this section to answer any additional questions you might have on these two devices or perhaps any other device that might be related.
All right, Tommy, we got another question. Does it support name tag for white label?
When you say customization, yeah, so if you wanted to white label this phone, I mean, in reality, there are phones that we've actually designed, namely the XU series, which is also popular in rebranding. But in terms of the V series, you know, a good part of Fanvil's business is actually doing a lot of rebranding of phones. So we could talk to you on a case-by-case basis. Obviously, if you want to buy the V66 Pro and rebrand that, or you want to populate the V62 Pro, you know, both of those have different ideas, because if you want to populate the more higher brand version, the volume requirements or minimum order quantities might be a little bit lower, but if you want to go on the baseline phone, the quantity might be a little higher. If you're interested, feel free to reach out to VoIP Supply. We can hold a one-on-one together to understand what your situation is, but there are MOQs involved. If you want us in the factory provide laser etching on either one of these models. In fact, we would do laser etching on almost any model. It depends on which model you want to work with on that.
Okay, thank you. And does the wall mount application come with the device, or is it sold separately as an accessory?
The wall mount is sold separately. It does come with a desk mount. And so if you wanted to wall mount, there's a separate wall mount adapter that you can put in. You know, these 66s come really packaged in, and there really wasn't a spot where you could put a slanted wall mount to allow this thing to mount on a wall. But it is available as an accessory for wall mount. And, you know, that's something that could be bought as an accessory so that you can, you know, mount this thing accordingly.
Perfect. We've got another question here. Is there provisioning on NetSapiens for these models?
Yeah, in fact, as we are speaking, they are looking through this model as we speak. The V66 Pro is something that's already, I'll put it this way, they're reviewing this, they're putting it on the queue. It hasn't been totally released yet, but it's in the queue to get it done. The good news about this is that if you want to get a head start on it, we may be able to put together a template for you in advance to kind of ease that provisioning to it, because the good news is that NetSapiens is already qualified on many of our V6 products, and this is just another V6 product that has very similar templates. So if you're out there with Snap Builder, that Snap Builder probably already covers 98% of everything that this phone has, and really the fact that it has a wireless handset is really it doesn't affect the provisioning at all. That's more of a hardware change than it is a software. So if you have that issue, feel free to give us a call, or even feel free to give NetSapiens a call. They'll be more than happy to address that. But the good news is that we're confident that it will. It's just a matter of a queue and getting it completed and put on the list.
Sure. We've got another question. Can both of these models be used as router phones for 3CX?
Yes, the answer is yes. They both can be used. In fact, I answered that question earlier this morning, and got feedback from our engineering group that yes, these things can be used as router phones. Obviously, the V66 Pro will have a much higher degree, which you could probably pair more phones. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but both of them can be configured as a router phone. Obviously, the higher that you go, the bigger CPU you have, and that can support a larger network of endpoints. So it depends on what situation you might have.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else?
Not at this time.
Okay, great. So with that stated, what I'll do is I'll just conclude by saying thanks. I'll hang on for as long as possible, but take down my contact information. Feel free to give me a call if you want to talk on any specific details, or just reach out to VoIP Supply. You know, they know as much as we do here. They've been our partner for many, many years. You know, give either one a call, and, you know, we're here to help you. And if you need some technical support, we also have tech support here locally that could, you know, address any gaps that you might end up having if you wanted to switch brands or expand on any new technology that we might have.
And the final question we got coming in, if they're available now from VoIP Supply, the answer is yes. If
Yes.
anyone has any questions regarding pricing, availability, feel free to reach out to us here at VoIP Supply. You can reach out to John or myself. And yep, you got the email addresses there that Tommy was showing on the screen.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I'll show the contact address right here.
There you go.
Okay.
Yep, and yeah, and like I said, if you're asking questions regarding pricing, feel free to reach out to us specifically on that. It looks like we got another one coming through the chat. Tommy, can the V66s, G722 and Opus contribute to optimize audio quality during calls and conferences, even during low connectivity?
Absolutely. In fact, specifically what you're talking about is if the phone puts on low connectivity, the Opus codec will tend to measure what bandwidth is available on the network and adjust its audio quality accordingly. So that the idea there is to avoid any skips in terms of voice, in terms of vocal performance. So if you land on a place and you can prioritize Opus codec to be the first codec you can choose, I mean, you can really put any codec in order, but a typical standard is it'll look for G722, G711, and then it'll go for Opus, but you could switch it around to look for Opus in the very beginning. And depending on how you want to prioritize it, if it happens to be low bandwidth first, that codec will have the ability to adjust voice performance to optimize or minimize skipping for low performance networks.
Thank you. We're getting quite a few questions. I'm trying to catch up here. Both
Sure.
are wall mountable or need additional bracket. You did touch on that before about the wall
Yes.
mount.
Yeah, wall mounts are available as an accessory for both phones.
Perfect. Patricia's asking if I want more tech support, tech support about these phones. Who can I reach out to? You can reach out to Fanvil or VoIP Supply.
Yeah, you can reach out to either one. There's also factory contact. There is email. His name is Hector.Zarita. He's located on East Coast time, East Coast region. Hector.Zarita@fanvil.com. It's really the best way to reach him. And, you know, that way, you know, you could pick it up and he'll call you back and provide you with real-time support in case you had any questions. All of these phones have redirection, all the basic tools that people are used to. So depending on who you work with, we can provision out of, you know, cloud-based PBXs in the case of many different manufacturers, or you could use ours. It depends on which one you want to do, but we have the tools available to provide auto provisioning if that's what you need to do.
Thank you. Another question that came in. So the corded and Bluetooth can both be used on the device at the same time, correct?
Yeah, actually, it can. On the back of the phone, I think it's an RJ9 connector. So I'll put it this way: I think you can use one or the other. So if you don't have, if you can have the Bluetooth that's connected, but you could also get it as an accessory, the corded handset as well, so that you could basically take that and connect it to the RJ9. So you can really put either handset on either phone. Now, if you're not interested in the wireless version, you could just buy straight the 66 or the 66 or V62. Both of them come with wired, but if you wanted the Bluetooth option, you can buy the Pro, but the Pro will give you the ability to go either one. But I don't think it'll happen to go both at the same time, because I do know the corded handset, since it has a wireless hook switch, you know, I know it has that magnet to be able to hang it up, you know, accordingly. So I've never seen them both operate at the same time, but I know you could use one or the other.
It looks like you answered their question. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Appreciate all the questions, everybody, coming through, whether you throw it in the Q&A or the group chat.
Yeah, and if something comes up after the webinar, both Rebecca and myself are available. Just give me a call. I can answer any question, you know, that's convenient for you.
We'll also we'll send out the recording of this as well, and we'll send out the slides too, so you can always reference that in the future.
Great.
Great.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's how we differentiate. You know, we're the first to offer this wireless handset on the baseline model, and we think it's a real differentiator because, you know, let's face it, on the baseline, you know, everybody's going to compete on price, and we know how difficult it is out there. But if you could compete on price and offer a wireless handset, I think it's something that many end customers might find as an attractive feature at a very, you know, low cost price for that. So
Definitely.
okay.
Well, thanks, Tommy. Thank you, everybody.
My pleasure, Rebecca. My pleasure, everybody, for your time.
We appreciate you all being here. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Take care, everyone. Have a healthy day. Bye-bye.
Bye.